In a mega CNN News 18 exclusive, let's get you an exclusive input that uncovers the fraudulent funding channels of two controversial organizations. This is quite explosive, viewers. The Popular Front of India, or PFI, and the Social Democratic Party of India, SDPI. Now, this comes out days after SDPI chief and the national president, MK Faizi, was arrested under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA, by the Enforcement Directorate for his alleged financial links with the banned Popular Front of India. The Enforcement Directorate has unearthed shocking details about how these organizations have been involved in bogus fundraising activities using illegal and deceptive financial transactions to fund their extremist agendas. Intel sources have revealed to CNN News 18, shared with us by our Group Editor Investigations and Security Affairs, Manoj Kumar Gupta, that the PFI and the SDPI have been actively engaged in raising funds for unlawful activities. The ED has discovered that large sums of money were raised abroad and routed into Bharat through illegal channels. Another alarming charge is the discovery of unaccounted cash receipts that were deposited into accounts associated with the PFI. These deposits did not match the official bank records of the organization. The probe under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act has also revealed that more than 262 crore rupees was deposited into 29 bank accounts of the PFI, or the Popular Front of India. Moreover, Intel sources further add that the outfit also obtained about 32.07 crore rupees in cash from sympathizers. The amount was transferred between May 2009 and May 2022. The funds were collected from unidentified and suspicious sources, both domestically and internationally. The Enforcement Directorate probe further added that the PFI is trying to project funding as legitimate donations from sympathizers. Probe also claims that cash deposits were not genuine. The Enforcement Directorate is further following a series of raids, has also further recovered several incriminating documents and digital devices that could provide crucial evidence in uncovering PFI's illegal operations. The documents established that the SDPI serves as a political front of the PFI, and the PFI reportedly wants to disseminate and carry forward its ideology, agenda and objectives via the SDPI. These documents had revealed that the PFI had thousands of active members in Gulf nations and that the group had been raising, collecting substantial funds from abroad in an organized and structured manner. Then members were appointed to look after functioning of the PFI in foreign nations. It has also come to the fore that money generated abroad was reportedly sent back to Bharat via Hawala channels. And there's more. CNN News 18 has also accessed the exclusive money trail. The investigations reveal that the cash is first deposited into bank accounts of the senders and alleged sympathizers, and thereafter the said amount is transferred to the PFI's bank accounts. This step was to project the said funds as legitimate donations. Investigations have also revealed that the PFI did not deposit its entire fund collection in its bank accounts, and a substantial portion of the same was retained and then money was spent in cash. Such expenses were not reflected in bank statements of the PFI, leaving no money trail between the PFI and the depositors or the beneficiaries. So where this money came from, what it was being used for, there's no clue. There's no trace of it. More importantly, such amount money also found its way into the SDPI, especially for their election campaigning and for the legal fees of certain of their SDPI cadre who had mounting legal cases against them. The amount is also allegedly used by the SDPI, which is a front of the PFI. Now, we've got, on Friday, we put out the entire paper trail, the money trail, which also shows that it was agreed by the PFI that there would be no formal procedure required for transferring or shuffling of their PFI international cadre from the IFF to the ISF, that is the SDPI's international wing. And this is all documented in the PFI notes. Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP with us, Khalikur Rahman, political analyst with us, Anand Ranganathan, author, political commentator with us. Now, Tuhin Sinha, the PFI banned sometime around in 2022, but they continue to operate, 21-22 if my memory serves me right, mean 4-5 years. But they continue to operate via the SDPI, which is going and lending its support, shouldering the cause of certain political parties who are part of the opposition also today.
Well, Anand, you can rest assured that all of these limited activities as of now are under the scanner, and that is why they have been caught. That is why they have been found out. both PFI, we have always maintained that PFI and SDPI are one and the same. Taslim Rahmani, I don't see him on television anymore. I don't know where he is, but essentially SDPI is the white collar version of PFI, which was an out and out threat to India. Now, interestingly, the two politicians, two Kerala politicians in rare moments of honesty who have spoken the truth about PFI are V. Achyutanandan, who in 2010 had said that PFI poses grave and real threat to India. They're working on a plan to make Kerala a Muslim majority state, and later Omen Chandi. Now, both were obviously, Omen Chandi belonged to the Congress party, but he was not taken seriously on this particular issue. As far as BJP government is concerned, we are determined to eradicate Islamist terror, and we have been well on track to achieve that. The banning of PFI was an important milestone in that direction. And whether, whatever little activities come out, limited, activities come to light, they will be dealt with extremely sternly within the ambit of...
But this was an open secret that the moment you banned PFI and all its fountainhead institutions, but allowed the SDPI as a political unit to proliferate, that their cadre is going to shift overnight and become cadre of the SDPI as a political party. Why was that allowed? Dr. Ranganathan, before I bring in Khalikur Rahman.
No, here I'm afraid I'm going to put my dear friend and brother Tuhin on dock. Because number one, yes, your government might have banned PFI, but it took you almost 9 years to ban it. Especially when in 2013, under the UPA, it was the NIA that arrested 21 PFI activists in Kannur when they were participating in arms training camp. They seized country bombs, swords, documents linking them with terrorist groups like Indian Mujahideen. The fact of the matter is that you delayed banning PFI, and now look at the logic. You banned PFI, but not the parent organization SDPI, and you yourself are calling it white collar. For heaven's sake, a terror organization. What is white collar, blue collar? Would you say that because Osama bin Laden never himself directly perpetrated a terror attack, he's a white collar thing and need not be banned, but Al Qaeda need be banned? Secondly, would you ban Haqqani network and not Al Qaeda? Because you could say Al Qaeda is the political wing of it, and it has resulted in Haqqani network that must be banned. Let me tell you how dangerous SDPI is. Anand, in January of 2020, Bangalore police arrested 6 SDPI men who, for mere 10,000 rupees each, plotted to kill the young BJP MP Tejasvi Surya because of his pro-CA stand. In fact, they came to kill him at a rally, but could not find him. So nearly killed an RSS worker, it said. SDPI also had a role in Bangalore riots. SDPI is the other side of PFI. I fail to understand on what basis was PFI banned but not SDPI. The government needs to answer this.
Tuhin Sinha, then Khalikur Rahman. Yeah.
We build watertight cases which cannot be challenged in the court of law. So, when we were the ones who banned Simi way back in 2003, and that could not be challenged in the court of law. We have banned PFI, and it's a matter of time. People keep asking, you have every right to ask Tariq bataoge, but it's a matter of time before conclusive evidence is gathered against the SDPI. Also, to the extent that the ban is, when it happens, is not challenged in a court of law, or that challenging of the ban does not hold any ground in the court of law. You would also recall that earlier the Jharkhand state government of Raghubar Das had banned PFI, but that was
the problem is not that, sir. The problem is that you have allowed...
let me just...
that was Hydra, all heads of the Hydra need to be severed. You can't sever 9 heads and leave the 10th one there, because that doesn't then mean the end of the Hydra.
I'm just putting forth this information that, a premature or a hasty banning can be challenged in a court of law, like it happened in Jharkhand when Raghubar Das government had banned PFI, but that was undone by a court ruling. We don't want that situation. We are committed to eradicating all, Qazi terror, pro-terror and extremist terror organizations. That is a commitment, but it will take its own time and it will happen.
Khalikur Rahman, why are organizations engaging with an entity that is dubious, an entity that has had the IUML also up at arms against it? And,
Yes.
and the Congress has dallied with the SDPI very openly, both in Kerala and in Karnataka.
See, because as far the SDPI is concerned, SDPI in fact, should have been banned when the PFI was banned, and PFI also was banned
Amazing.
after so much of
Mr.
no,
Rahman,
after.
have
after
you joined
so,
the BJP?
No,
Have you
no, no,
joined
no,
the
no.
BJP, Mr.
I always call spade a spade. Yeah. So for the PFI also, because I remember I used to sit on your channel for the debates along with Mr. Ranganathan, and we were in fact demanding from the the BJP government to ban the PFI, and somehow after a lot of pressure on the government, because I feel that somehow the existence of the PFI here in the country was benefiting the BJP, probably in garnering some votes. So because of that, maybe the BJP delayed in banning that. But the logic, what Mr. Ranganathan has said, I fully agree with him, because when you ban PFI and when you know that the SDPI is the political outfit of the PFI, and you are letting it be there in the open, recognized by the ECI, allowing it to contest the elections, and not going for it. So I am unable to understand. And as my friend said, that they are waiting to get the conclusive evidence. What is conclusive evidence? Especially if you consider some organization as a terror organization. And I also want to, tell my friend, the BJP spokesperson, that there is nothing called the Islam terror. Terror is a terror. Terror has got no religion. Let me tell you very honestly. Terror is a terror. And terrorist has no religion, because the terrorist.
Correct. But in this case, Khalikurahman, the modus operandi of the PFI, sir.
Yeah.
Now it's a banned outfit. Satya Sarani was part of that outfit. There were Campus Front of India. There were other outfits. Their job, sir, they were using the law. They were using the rules. They were using the constitution. They were using the name India inadvertently to turn and subvert, and using the same very rules to convert India into an Islam Bahul nation, and eventually then establish the rule of Sharia or Shariat here. And their first project was the state of Kerala. And it's there in their vision statement. And even in raids that have happened in Fulwari Sharif, there have raids that have happened in other parts of the country. Documents that have shown very clearly that their agenda is eventually to work towards changing the very DNA of Bharat and turning it into an Islamic nation by 2047. What they are doing is, they do not want to take up bombs and go into the act of violence, open terrorism. What they are doing is getting into administration, into policy, to create social strife, participate in social unrest and create huge divides, and then push forward very aggressively using money this agenda of tabligh or conversion. Again, it is the Kerala Christian Forum, it is churches and it is priests of Kerala's churches who have come out and given a document of at least 30,000 Christian girls who have been forcibly converted by these people who are closely associated with the PFI and the SDPI. Interestingly, the Supreme Court gave the verdict in favor of one of those who ended up becoming an ISIS widow eventually. It's ironic and it's a slap on the face of our courts that the courts upheld in favor of the person rather than the parent, and today that very individual went to Syria for waging war and joining the ISIS. And there is a pin drop silence about it from the courts and from those judges who gave an opinion against that. Look at the compromising of national security. Today, those radicalized ISIS widows, they are actually trying to say they want to come back to India and continue that agenda. They are saying they want to peacefully continue that agenda of radicalization. What is this peaceful radicalization? That's the agenda of the PFI, is what is the NIA has claimed very clearly. And sir, till 2015-2016, the PFI on its website officially claimed that the CFI, the SDPI were all part of its umbrella wing. They were the tree and the others were their branches. It's only after 2015-2016 that they started delinking themselves and saying we are individual entities. All of this is on record, Anand Ranganathan. All of this is on record with the NIA.
Yes, so that is what I mean. I think it's a very tough situation for my good friend Tuhin, because his explanation is we want to make the case watertight. Well, it's been 11 years. Pani nahi bacha. There is no water left for you to make it watertight. All the evidence that was gathered, as Anand has brilliantly put, was before 2000. In fact, UPA, this thing with Congress is when Congress is in power, it really works for national interest. So all the evidence linking SDPI and PFI is already there. And secondly, if that was your logic, Toheen, then can I please ask you, when everyone in the world knows that Hamas is a terror organization, why have you still not banned Hamas?
Anand, can I answer?
Yeah, please. Yes,
You know,
please.
when Simi was banned in 2003, all the members don't disappear all of a sudden. They obviously join other entities, which over a period of time quietly develops into another monster, which is what happened in the case. Now, the point is, many of them also retreat. Many of them also give up on this, extracurricular activities of terrorism and come back to normal lives. So in India, you need to have a nuanced stand. Like I said, the more important part is our commitment to eradicate terrorism in all forms, whether it is Naxal terror, whether it is through SIMI, whether it is through PFI. And we have achieved that. Our track record speaks for itself. These one-off instances where you suddenly discover money laundering case of SDPI will come up. And, one of the reasons why perhaps they've been given a long rope is that SDPI obviously, tries to obfuscate it by carrying out 10 social work activities during the day. But yes, I think this is something which we will take very seriously, deal with it very sternly, and ensure that, adequate censure, adequate measures are taken against SDPI.
Let me ask you this, sir. If an individual lures, traps a person and then eventually blackmails that person, brainwashes that person to convert into another religion, and then continues this agenda over a period of 8-10 years by marrying different people multiple times and leaving them astray and leaving them in society, and then their progeny are all born into the same religion, with the larger agenda to eventually change the very DNA of the state and eventually the nation. Is this an act of terrorism or not? And if an offshoot of that entity says we will get into the political field, ensure that policy is tweaked in our favor, create agitation movements where the name and the constitution is used to subvert the constitution, is that an act against the state? Is that an act of terror or not? And they will do all of this via peaceful means, sir.
And that is where, Congress MPs like Shashi Tharoor, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, who have represented Kerala, who have witnessed these things happening in their constituency and not spoken and engaged in the conspiracy of silence, are equally culpable, are equally guilty in encouraging these practices. Having said that,
if they are equally guilty, that means you agree that your blame lies on you also as the government.
No, like I said, many things are work in progress. Since I'm not part of the Home Ministry, I would not be able to pinpoint where the case stands at this point of time. Like many things, like I said, the more important part is
because this same modus, Toheen Sinha, you would appreciate, is not only happening in Kerala. They have footprints in Bihar. They have footprints in Jharkhand. This agenda is being run by them in that area also. The case studies that the NIA has unearthed. And they are all in these pockets where this radical brainwashing is happening. Now, if that's not an issue of national security, then what is? And then is it fair to allow an entity like SDPI to proliferate and continue to operate?
That is why, Anand, you would recall that in 2019, we brought a very important amendment to one of the anti-terror acts, wherein now you don't need to be a member of a terror organization to be designated as terrorist. Even an individual working in an individual capacity is liable to be tried as a terrorist. I think, we have strengthened laws, we have taken all the measures, but like I said, important decisions need to be, I'm sure they are work in progress. Files must be moving somewhere. That is something I would not be entirely privy to.
Right. Final word, Dr. Ranganathan, I have to wind up. Yeah, 30 seconds.
Yes. Toheen, a very small question to you. Is Hamas a terror organization? And if yes, why have you not yet banned it?
I think the official version, I have run out of time, that's why the official version from the government of the day is Hamas does not operate in Bharat and it's not done anything on Indian soil, so that's why the designation has not happened. If UN proscribes the Hamas, India will too. Otherwise, they have to be activating, they have to do something on our soil for us to designate them. PFI, SDPI are closer home and they are operating on our soil. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much for joining us on this edition of The Right Stand. I have to wind up on that note. Stay with us. Brass Tacks after the break.